What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, as you can see in the topic, Rugby Championship versus Six Nations. Which one is better? Now we all know these are two fantastic competitions with teams that just give it their all. We have South Africa, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand in the Rugby Championship, and then France, England, Italy, Scotland, Wales and Ireland in the Six Nations. Now this past year, Six Nations was, for me personally, the best Six Nations I've ever witnessed. Now I haven't been around as long as some people, so maybe I can't be the judge of that, but for me this year was really incredible. Rugby Championship has been also exciting. We've seen some matches that have just blown our socks off the roof, and matches that's just totally left us with our jaws so far down on the ground we can't even pick it back up. And I can refer back to South Africa getting demolished by the All Blacks, but still we were treated to incredible rugby, special rugby, committed rugby. And for me to compare these tournaments, you can only do it in one way, and that is the winner of the championship versus the winner of the Six Nations. That is the only real way we will be able to see who the best is. As far as tournaments go, they both are truly incredible. We've witnessed some fantastic rugby games from all the teams, and we've seen surprises as well. We really have. And for me to rate the two tournaments, it's tough, because on the Six Nations side you've got incredible teams. Definitely the top 5 teams can compete with everyone, whereas the Rugby Championship, you have your days where the teams can compete with New Zealand, but pretty much New Zealand's dominating. So some might tend to favour Six Nations because there's more competitive rugby there. But in the Rugby Championship you've got also the awesome rivalries between South Africa, Australia, which is always exciting. Last year we saw 2 draws. How often does that happen? First game for South Africa against New Zealand, they got smashed. Then when they came down to South Africa, we lost by just 1 point, and we had an amazing performance. Now those games are games that are truly memorable and special to remember, because it's not every day you can get close to the All Blacks, and it's not every day one can beat them. We didn't beat them, we lost, but we still gave an awesome impact as the Springboks. We go to Australia in the Bledisloe. They lost their games to the All Blacks, and then came the last game where they beat the All Blacks. Now they didn't win the cup, but they still had a great game and showed a lot of progression, a lot of motivation and passion into the game. Argentina, unfortunately, they've been bottom of the log, but they also have their moments where they can give a fight, they can give a surprise, just like all the other teams. And for me, if Argentinian rugby structure can be developed better and maybe include their overseas players in Europe, we could see a great Argentine team that can probably beat South Africa and Australia and give the All Blacks a run for their money. Anything is possible. So for me, the Rugby Championship is just as exciting, because the levels and the rivalries and the history is special to watch. We've seen some amazing performances from these teams, and for me it's exciting to watch. Now back to Six Nations, where we got so many years of history in that tournament. I mean, Scotland and England in the Calcutta Cup go way back, if I'm not mistaken. The histories between France and England, we always see that rivalry of the massive rugby rivalry. Ireland playing all the teams, really showing how far they've developed. And unfortunately for Italy, they've been the wooden spoon for the past many years now, which is unfortunate, because there was a stage when Italy would compete with Scotland and we would see an awesome contest between the two games. But now Scotland are rising up and moving forward, that they now competing with England, who they beat, and all that stuff, who are in the opportunities where they can actually beat other teams or definitely put up a fight. So it's sad from that point of view, and that's where the question goes: does Italy get removed? Do Georgia come in? Do you go back to 5 nations? Well, the answer is not with me, but I could definitely give suggestions. But for me, keep the old Six Nations, keep it as Six Nations, bring the history. Who knows, Italy could also just come back. New systems, coaches in places and all that stuff. things can happen, things can change, and anything is possible within that team. So who knows what can happen. But for now, we got two amazing tournaments, and my previous video of should the Springboks join the Six Nations, where I said no, they shouldn't, brought up the question, who's the better tournament? Which is the better tournament? We need to see the winner of both championships fight up against each other, so we can have a clear dominant hemisphere, if we can say that. You put for example, let's say New Zealand probably are definite favourites to win the championship this year. New Zealand versus Ireland, 3-match series. Who's the better team? You give them a chance, and we go. How we would work it? A game there, a game there. So let's say game in Ireland, game in New Zealand, next game in America. I don't know. Just an idea. Or whoever is the highest ranking team, you go play in that nation. So for example, New Zealand's number 1, so you go play in New Zealand. If Ireland were number 1, same goes for them. So it's just those kind of strategies that I think the IRB need to really think about, because we constantly seeing stadiums, definitely in Super Rugby, where it's empty. What are we going to do to ignite, bring that spirit of rugby back? If you look at the European Cup, the Pro 14, the the European Championship, the Aviva, they are very well supported. Now the question we need to ask, how are we going to develop in the Southern Hemisphere? And I think the same goes for the winner of Super Rugby. So Crusaders probably, if they win on this weekend, or even the Lions, playing against Pro 14 winners. No, sorry, playing against the European Champions winners, which is Leinster. So you play that kind of game, and then we got freaking awesome rugby to look forward to, and that will bring back that love and passion for the game. I think it's what we need, because we're constantly seeing, and I see it in the comment section, some of you are harsh, some of you are very respectful, which I enjoy because I believe in sportsmanship, and you guys say, I want to play Super Rugby Champion to see who's the better team, and vice versa. So if we can do the European Champion versus the Super Rugby Champion, put that in a 3-match series game, and whoever wins gets the crown of the best provincial team in this Northern and Southern Hemisphere rivalry. Same goes for Rugby Championship. It's worth it. And then if they even think even further, and I did the video on this previously, create a Southern Hemisphere rugby team like the Lions. A few of you guys, especially me and Az, always puts your Southern Hemisphere team versus the Lions, and maybe change it. Okay, we got South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. They always play the Lions every, I think it's 4 years or so. Now in the next leg, so you've played all your 3 countries, put together a Southern Hemisphere rugby team like the Lions, and bring that within. If we create these things, I'm telling you now, the buzz is going to get even bigger, because already we are seeing the talk. I mean, just that video alone with Springboks joining the Southern Hemisphere, joining the Six Nations, and the SA Super Rugby teams caused a lot of stir. A lot of people were slaughtering the Springboks because they're leaving. They're not leaving, guys. I was just talking about what Skulky said. He suggested it. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But it was interesting to hear the opinions. Some of you said, yeah, join Six Nations, and a lot said no, stick to tradition, stick to the history, and I'm with you there. I agree with that. And then some of the haters, well, South African haters, said, oh, let the Springboks go, they're too scared. That's bull, guys. We South Africans have so much respect for the history and the rivalry between South Africa and New Zealand, and I can guarantee you 90%, I think, of the people, myself included, and people I've spoken to, so close friends, want to see the championship just stay the way it is, and the Six Nations stay the way it is. Keep the history, keep the rivalries, because they are unique. And to have another country come in the way and change things up a bit, it's just going to confuse it. It's like, why have a Southern Hemisphere team in the Northern Hemisphere team? Yes, your players are playing there, but find other ways to make it exciting so we can get a bit of both. If you have the Super Rugby champ versus European champ, the teams are getting a bit of both. Rugby Championship versus Six Nations, you're getting a bit of both, and you're able to clash and mix and give the fans something absolutely spectacular. And me, as a South African fan, even if it's New Zealand versus Ireland or the Crusaders versus Leinster, it is still going to be a match to remember, because it's the best of the best. And who you would see the Southern Hemisphere team supporting New Zealand just to build a bond so we can support the Southern Hemisphere, or you might have people who support Ireland, and the European Okies connecting together to support Ireland, and it creates such an awesome rivalry and a contest and a possibility for a new cup to be introduced into world rugby, so we can see something really exciting. I honestly think it's worth a go. I think it'll be really exciting to see. We've got the players to do it, we've got the nationalities to do it, and it's just another way to reintroduce or to bring that energy and the atmosphere and the love for the game back. I'm not saying it's gone, it's not gone, but people are, I think, maybe getting bored of the same thing happening over and over again. Spice things up a bit. Bring in the Northern Hemisphere versus Southern Hemisphere rivalry. Create something magnificent. Create those tournaments. Lions versus the Southern Hemisphere team. Super Rugby versus European. And then Six Nations versus Rugby Championship. That's going to be amazing. But again, just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you agree, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't agree, still hit the thumbs up button because you watched it. Hopefully you all agree with me and would like to see something exciting like that, because I think it will be spectacular. And that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date with all future rugby uploads. Super Rugby final predictions coming out this week, so make sure you subscribe. And obviously more international rugby ideas coming up as we build up to the Rugby Championship. And there's a few other European ideas I have planned, so make sure you are subscribed. Until later, I'll see you guys soon. Please be sure to share this video with your friends and family so they can get to know me a bit more, and also so they can, if they're rugby fans, they can be introduced to Walking Towards You, man. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Button, hit that like, and I'll see you soon for another video. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.